So, Brian, we had a chit chat, I think it was on Wednesday, a bit about the experience and investing. You invest in Uganda, right?
Yes.
Potentially, you're looking as well opportunity or startups to invest here as well. So, do you mind you tell us a bit about your sources of investment, the ticket size, and other stuff, as well as your experience investing in African market? If you are able to invest in Uganda, potentially in Tanzania, you have a huge chance to invest because we are doing great when it comes to the record.
Mhm.
Karibu sana.
I have 3 minutes. Okay. Uh, my name is Brian Lee. I flew here from Los Angeles. I had to fly through 3 countries to get here, but I'm very happy to be here. I come from the Avoda Group. We have 3 arms. One is the Startup Accelerator Program, which we run here in Tanzania with Kalila there from Unleash Africa, helping growth stage companies help to build and scale. We have a consulting arm as well as a capital arm. For the capital arm, we focus primarily on African startups. We say it's stage agnostic as well as sector agnostic. We're very opportunistic in what we're looking for. And so, for example, if you have a business that is focusing on a difficult problem to solve, and as a lot of speakers here have mentioned, it's showing signals from the market, meaning people are actually buying your products, or you're finding traction in the adoption of your products. That's something we're very excited about as well. I think one thing that makes us very unique, in my opinion, is that we work very, very, very closely with the startup. So it's not just providing funding, and in terms of funding, it's anywhere between, let's say, $10,000 and $50,000 for earlier stage startups to up to $1 million for some of the growth stage companies. Um, in terms of what we look for, again, geographically, it's Africa, but also I think one thing that's been highlighted time and time again, because it really, really matters, is the team. Who are you? And I think integrity is incredibly important. We've heard a lot of incredible business plans, problem solve solutions, et cetera, et cetera. But I think I've heard one person say one time, when you invest, especially with startups, it's kind of like a marriage. You work very, very closely with together, and if there's not that trust, um, then it makes things very, very difficult. And so I think integrity is something that we definitely look for, because ultimately we look for leadership, and that means not just in building a strong company or platform, et cetera, but also a company that can really transform and inform the businesses and communities in which they reside.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my name is Simon Nyele. I'm a co-founder at Leisure 360. We provide free nutrition and education and affordable healthy foods for mothers and children. My question is on the accelerator program. Can you tell us more about it, like general requirements, how it's run, and the final result, or like the expectations of what to be achieved by the end of the programs, and potentially the benefit as well in terms of funding here? Thank you.
Sure, I'm glad you asked that question. So as I mentioned, I work with Unleash Africa. Kalila's there over there in the front row. She just raised her hand. We focus primarily on growth stage companies. That means that you found product market fit. Fancy term, we're just saying, I guess perhaps, there's been signals in the market that show that your business makes sense. It's generating healthy revenues and has the potential for growth. In terms of the program itself, it's very interesting. You know, our founders, we all have our MBAs. One's from Cambridge. I went to Columbia University for my MBA. It's kind of like an MBA style or rigorous type curriculum that we go over. But I think what makes us unique is that we are very, very practical in what we go over. I mean, we really scrutinize your business model. Does does your product make sense in the market? Or perhaps is your market too small, et cetera, et cetera. In terms of goals, I think we make it very unique to each company. We ask you, what do you want to do? What is your objective? Is it to launch X number of products? Is it to increase double, triple your revenue by 2 years or so forth? But we're very, very rigorous in terms of how we structure things to make sure that you achieve your goal. application process. We're actually going to be accepting new applicants soon. And if you're interested, again, Kalila's in the front row here.
Wow. What a piece of advice would you like to share with the founders?
So maybe it's a bit of advice, but maybe perhaps the better word is insight. So just being here in the crowd and being amongst you guys the last 2 days, I've heard people describe, let's say, investors as vultures. You know, money obsessed, money hungry, ruthless, et cetera, et cetera. But I think one thing that people don't understand about investing is that it's really, really hard. You know, if you look at the statistics, there's a 90-something% failure rate. That means, you know, if you're, and for a typical venture capitalist, for example, if you invest in 20-something ventures, you know, you might only have 2 ventures that really, really hit the financial goals that you're looking for, which means that, you know, it's extremely difficult for them to raise money to convince their, especially in the United States. When we tell people about Africa, people get excited, but they think about all the risks. And thus, when we invest, we have to hit those quote-unquote home runs, the ventures that succeed extremely well, so that we can prove to them that, hey, Africa makes sense, because we know it does. But for that reason, we have to really, really scrutinize business models to make sure that they can generate healthy revenue. It's not just a good idea, but there's ruthless execution to make sure that they can build and scale. And so that's something that I feel very passionate about sharing, because I think a lot of founders, they don't understand that. They say, hey, I have a great idea, or I'm gonna make an incredible impact. But the problem is that if it can't sustain itself, then that means it's literally a nonprofit. You are not making a profit. And so that's something with our Startup Accelerator, we really, really drill in on, you know, how do you build a sustainable business? Because without that, it's not only difficult to receive funding, but it's really, really difficult to just make it beyond even a couple years.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it.